One thing that we really like to do in our lab, in part because I'm a junior faculty member and, I'm still building my name as opposed to senior faculty. And so, one of the things that I realize is that, and this is just how I was raised, is like you do well with what you're given, and you are a good steward of the resources that you are granted. And so one of the paradigms that we kind of abide by in our lab is like data reuse. So are there experiments or data out there that we can leverage to advance our own knowledge? And this isn't just like reading a paper and saying like, oh, somebody tested whether this induces this. We do this at the systems level. So our lab actually develops algorithms that we can go and reuse publicly available high throughput data sets to begin to generate and identify new hypotheses that might help us. So one of the ways that we've done this is we've actually said, okay, like let's just understand the ecosystem of the lung, the immune ecosystem of the lung. And so what we did is we took not just coronavirus, we took lung cancer, we took, fibrosis data, we took tuberculosis data. And what we did is we said, what are the common features of the immune response across these variety of pathologies? With the idea that, like everybody kind of tends to take an approach where you have your disease of interest and you drill and you do, and you like get as much depth as you can in the problem. And that's really powerful. But I think one of the things that we realize is that, we work in a disease area that doesn't necessarily get the most investment from pharma, so to speak. But we would like to leverage their kind of knowledge advancement and tools. So what we said is, if we could begin to understand what are kind of the stereotypical immune responses that are kind of generic across all diseases, when pharma company over here says, hey, we made a new small molecule that makes these cells over here do this, we can say, well, we see those cells in tuberculosis. If we got your small molecule, would they make the immune response go this way? And so what we think about is, are there general properties of the immune response that we can learn by comparing lots of different immune responses in the lung that we could then repurpose to our particular cause of tuberculosis? And so what I'm super excited about in the pandemic, in addition to the vaccines, is that I don't think in human history we've had so many different vaccine platforms being tested at the same time. So what's really exciting to me as kind of like a molecular immunologist, so to speak, is that we can say, like, look at all of these different vaccine strategies that have been tested for coronavirus. And this vaccine strategy gives you this flavor of immune response. This vaccine strategy gives you this flavor of immune response. The durability goes on for this amount of time. What we can then use is say, well, what can we learn from those vaccine strategies that we could then repurpose? So I actually love the fact that we are testing so many vaccine candidates and that there's all of this discussion and all of this energy, because I think if we just continue to abide by the leveraging public data approach that we oftentimes use in our lab, then we can go and access those data sets and ask new questions.